Hello again. It seems almost inconceivable to me that at a crucial by-election in a key seat, with a general election looming this year, the main opposition party in this country is not fielding a candidate. Yes, that's right, there is no possibility of voting for the Labour Party in the election in Rochdale today. I don't believe I can remember such a situation ever occurring before, that the main opposition party didn't have a candidate standing in a by-election in the year when an election was likely to be held. Am I the only person who finds this weird? Or has everybody else become used to the mad way that things are going in Britain today and just takes this sort of thing for granted? How on earth has it come to the point where the election in an English town just outside Manchester is being described by some people as a referendum on Gaza? Can anybody imagine for a moment that this would have been possible 20 years ago? More to the point, does anybody actually claim that this is an improvement on the way things were 20 or 30 years ago? The accusation is sometimes levelled against me in the comments on this channel that I'm an old person and out of touch with the way that the country has changed. The implication is that things were a lot better than they used to be, and only a handful of old fossils like me fail to realise it. Here is a genuine question. Does anybody watching this think that it is better to have a by-election of the kind which we are now seeing in Rochdale, where there is no candidate for the Labour Party and the focus is on events thousands of miles away over which we have no control? Or do they rather feel that it is healthier for our democracy that a by-election instead centres around which candidates would best represent the interest of those living in the constituency? Perhaps a person whose focus is on the town or borough which he or she seeks to represent. It's not as though there are no local issues to talk about in Rochdale, things such as housing, employment, or the difficulty of finding a dentist. You know, the kind of things which actually affect the electorate and which an MP might be able to fight for, to stick up for in Parliament. This is what democracy is, or rather should be, about. What has happened, though, is that the possibility of a ceasefire in an area thousands of miles away is the only topic which is of interest and the subject upon which this election will be won or lost. Of course, the fact that there are now 3 times as many Muslims in Britain as there were 20 years ago has to have some bearing on this matter. When you consider that around a fifth of the people living in Rochdale weren't even born in this country, it gives you a clue about why affairs abroad might be of more concern than what is happening in the town itself. It might go some way too towards explaining why, although for the average person in Britain the name of Rochdale is inextricably linked to the idea of grooming by gangs of foreign sex offenders, this is something which doesn't feature at all when the various candidates are discussing their concerns. The people seeking election in Rochdale don't care about that. They're only interested in what is happening on the edge of the Sinai Desert. We really are living in strange times.